this meeting of the Cleveland Heights University Heights City School District Board of Education to order. Mr. Gaynor, will you call the roll?
Mr. Coble. Ms. Pepler.
Yes.
Mr. Register. Mr. Silverman.
Here.
Mr. Zucker.
Here.
Thank you. Mr. Coble is out of town and Mr. Register is on his way, but we decided to go ahead and get started for this evening. Okay, so can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the regular board meeting of February 4th, the special board meeting of February 12th, and the special board meeting of February 18th?
So moved. Second.
Any additions, corrections? Mr. Gaynor?
Ms. Pepler.
Yes.
Mr. Silverman.
Yes.
Mr. Zucker.
Yes.
All right, now for the fun stuff. We're moving on to awards and recognitions. And I'll turn that over to Superintendent McDaniel. Thank you.
Thank you. Tonight we begin by recognizing one of our superb athletic coaches for his dedication to excellence in sports. For being a principled and fair leader of our student athletes, Heights High ice hockey head coach Eddie Babcox has been awarded the annual Ohio Athletic Association Sportsmanship, Ethics, and Integrity Award. Coach Babcox, would you please come forward to the center of the room so Mrs. Pepler and I can take a photo with you? The criteria for winning this award includes acting as a positive role model for others, having an unwavering commitment to good sportsmanship, working at a high level of ethics and integrity, teaching positive values by words and deeds, and having faithfully served the youth of Ohio for a number of years. These are truly noble characteristics that he models for our students, and the examples he teaches will reach far beyond the rink as well. Coach Babcox just finished his 7th season as head coach for the hockey team and was assistant coach for 4 years. And this is not the first time he has seen or been acknowledged for his coaching ability. He's also achieved 5 league and division coach of the year recognitions. By the way, Coach Babcox is a longtime Tiger, having played on the Heights hockey team from 1994 to 1998. Congratulations, Coach Babcox. We know that our student athletes look up to role models like you, and we thank you for teaching them to make us all Tiger proud. Thanks. Another one of our distinguished staff members is joining us tonight for our next recognition. This year, first grade teacher Karen Golenberg was among the 4 finalists honored in Columbus for the Ohio Teacher of the Year Award. Ms. Golenberg has taught in the Cleveland Heights, University Heights City School District for 16 years at Garrity Elementary School, and for the last 3 years she's taught first grade. Garrity Principal Dr. Michelle Evans nominated Mrs. Golenberg for her teaching skills and passion. This was the first time Principal Evans felt compelled to nominate a teacher for this award, and she's worked with many teachers over the years. Tonight, the Ohio School Boards Association would like to recognize Ms. Golenberg with a certificate for her achievement. Terry Neff, Northeast Region Manager of OSBA, will now say a few words about our prized teacher. Terry?
Now I have to change part of what I wrote.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine. The Ohio Department of Education initiated the Teacher of the Year Award in 1969, and its purpose was to honor and promote excellence in teaching and in the teaching profession. And it was also to build a network of exemplary teachers who are leaders in their school and in school improvement initiatives. The 2014 Teacher of the Year was selected from nominations submitted by schools throughout the state. Nominations were reviewed by a statewide panel of representatives from a range of professional organizations and school constituencies, including teachers who've been recognized for their excellent performance in the classroom. Well, I'll just repeat part of, part of this. Garrity Elementary first grade teacher Karen Golenberg was one of 4 finalists for the 2014 Ohio Teacher of the Year. Her principal, Michelle Evans, praised Karen and spoke about her excellence. Amongst other compliments, she said that Karen once described a student teacher as the whole package, and I laughed because that's exactly what Karen is too. Karen pushes herself to be the best she can every single day. There's never an off moment in her classroom, and she looks like she has just as much fun as her students. To win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children. This is part of one of my favorite quotes. It's by Ralph Waldo Emerson, and it's about the definition of success. It's quite apparent that Karen Golenberg is a success. Congratulations to Cleveland Heights University Heights City Schools, and especially to Karen Golenberg. On behalf of the Northeast region of the Ohio School Board Association, I'd like to present you with this certificate. And I need to read this because I want to make sure I get it right. I would like to echo something that Dr. Evans said about Karen, that she's an extraordinary example of what we should wish every single teacher in Ohio could be.
Do you want me to come up?
Thank you, Mrs. Neff, and again, congratulations, Mrs. Golenberg. We are privileged to have a teacher of your caliber in our school district. This concludes our recognitions for this evening.
Thank you. All right, so moving on to public address, we do not have any requested audience, and we've just checked, no one has signed in for statements from the audience. We'll now have the superintendent's report.
This evening, I have a request for a field trip. It's for Roxborough Middle School. It's for the 7th graders to go on a field trip to Peninsula, Ohio. It's for an integrated science and English language arts field trip, and it is scheduled for May 7th through the 9th.
Can I have a motion to approve that?
So moved. Second.
Any,
Oh, well,
I
guess
know,
we're
that'll
here.
be, that'll be it for the evening. Any questions or comments about the field trip? No? Mr. Gaynor?
Ms. Pepler?
Yes.
Mr. Silverman?
Yes.
Mr. Zucker?
Yes.
The second item on the superintendent's report is recommendation to approve the agreement with the Educational Service Center of Cuyahoga County for next school year, 2014-15.
Can I have a motion to approve that?
So moved. Second.
Okay, questions? Comments? It's pretty
Pretty straightforward.
standard annual approval.
It is,
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Gaynor?
Mr. Silverman?
Yes.
Mr. Zucker?
Yes.
Ms. Pepler?
Yes.
The third item is a recommendation to approve the resolution in support of the principles that unite us.
Can I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Do you want to say something about this?
Sure, I can. The principles that unite us is an initiative that was undertaken by the American Federation of Teachers in concert with stakeholders across the nation. And we've been asked as a Board of Education to support the principles that unite us. And the tenets of the principles that unite us include public schools are public institutions. Our voices matter. Strong public schools create strong communities. Assessments should be used to improve instruction. Quality teaching must be delivered by committed, respected, and supported educators. Schools must be welcoming and respectful places for all. Our schools must be fully funded for success and equity, and that we would commit the power of the school district to pursue these principles in our schools.
Thanks. And I think we do commit the power of the school district to support those principles, so I don't think it's a much of a leap for us to support this. Anyone else want to?
No, I think, similar to what you're saying, this is basically a statement of what we do and have been
Right.
doing all along, so it's
Exactly.
fine.
Scott, do we need to read the resolution? Okay, okay. Any other comments? Okay, Mr. Gaynor?
Mr. Silverman?
Yes.
Mr. Zucker?
Yes.
Ms. Pepler?
Yes.
And the last item this evening, under Superintendent's Report, is our Race to the Top update with Dr. Mitchler.
Good evening. As we're approaching in the next few months the end of a 4-year period of Race to the Top, and probably at that point my last update will be a summary of the 4 years. But we're getting close to that summary already, and last Friday we had a great testament to that. And I mentioned about our 3 teachers that were asked to co-present with the keynote at the Race to the Top conference on Friday, Ann Davies, and thank you, Ms. Shaker, for already putting it on the website. Not only did they present, they conquered. She essentially introduced them. They ran the 60-minute program, and they actually are Leah Ratke from Roxborough, Melissa Strouth from the high school, and Teresa Taylor were at Noble at the elementary. And what they did was they focused on assessment for learning, and that's using questioning, and that's using all diagnostic tools to not only teach kids, but at the same time assess where they are in their learning path. And that's a major component of our Race to the Top. The other part is that they have been mentors, they have been master teachers, and have gone through our John Carroll endorsement program, all of which are Race to the Top initiatives through our 4-year plan. And probably the neatest thing was the fact that the state director of Race to the Top said, finally, I have seen a presentation where it was all put together. Not just their topic, but what Race to the Top stands for. And so we delight in their achievement, and we are also happy that the Ohio Achievement Tests are coming up, because they were so good, they've been asked to present again at 2 regional meetings. So I think that's probably one of the best rewards we could possibly give to teacher leaders, is the recognition by their peers and to, again, share their practice. Dr. McDaniel was there in the audience and may want to say something too.
Sure,
Thanks.
sure. It was a very proud moment to be from Cleveland Heights University Heights last Friday in Columbus. The 3 teachers did an excellent job. I think they represented us very well. And just as we mentioned, the principles that unite us and the fact that this is what we do day in and day out, and one of the tenets and principles that unite us was that you use assessments to inform instruction, and that's what assessment for learning is. And that's what the ladies presented. You'd have been very proud of them. They did well on our behalf, and they are only 3 of many, many teachers in our school district who do the kind of work they do day in and day out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to personnel. I believe we can take item E 1 through 6 together. Could I have a motion to approve these personnel items?
So moved. Second.
Any questions, comments, clarifications? Nope. Mr. Gaynor?
Mr. Zucker?
Yes.
Ms. Pepler?
Yes.
Mr. Silverman?
Yes.
This is going to be the quickest meeting ever. By the time Ron gets here, we'll be done. Okay, business services. We have to take item F1 separately. Can I have a motion to approve the resolution authorizing the execution and delivery of a lease agreement between the Board of Ed and Reaching Heights and Future Heights?
So moved. Second.
And is anyone going to speak to this? George, do you want to say something, or should we, you don't need to? Okay, does anyone have any questions? I think it was really
was-
very clear.
pretty clear,
Clearly
yeah.
spelled out.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Gaynor?
Ms. Pepler?
Yes.
Mr. Silverman?
Yes.
Mr. Zucker?
Yes.
Exciting to see more happening at Coventry. All right, item 2. I need a motion to approve the recommendation to accept the following donations of A through G. I don't think I need to read that.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Gaynor?
Ms. Pepler?
Yes.
Mr. Silverman?
Yes.
Mr. Zucker?
Yes. And thank you. As always, we thank you.
Yes. I was actually, we do thank them, and it was really nice to read the note from one of the parents who was giving to the One Scholarship Fund because their child had received it and was doing so well at college. So it's just really nice to read those little notes when people make those donations. Okay, moving on to finance. Should we take these separate, or do you want to start and say something, Scott, about the financial reports?
You can take these together, and if you want to go ahead and get a motion, I can.
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve items G 1 through 4?
So moved.
Second.
We are continuing, as you can see, our cleanup of funds and cost centers and that kind of thing. A lot of this is, again, based on the fact that we're working with the state auditors now, so we're in the process of zeroing out some accounts, transferring some funds. And other than that, we have our monthly financial report, and then we have a couple of new funds and cost centers that we are establishing here tonight. So unless anyone has any specific questions about everything, you'll see a lot of it is very minor dollar amounts that are just being moved from one cost center to another. And
I know it's only $100 total, but the Ed Dibner.
yes,
What is that? Most of these other ones are, I understand what preschool is or general is, I suppose, but Ed Dibner, I don't. Page 1, is it, is
I
that just,
see.
is that like the name of someone who gave us money a million years ago, or?
I'm going to guess, I can get some more details on
Okay.
that for you, but I do know that Sue Pardee, who's our development coordinator,
Okay.
she's been working to try to, some of the funds that are no longer being used, if that's an active scholarship
Okay.
fund, which I'm guessing it is,
Gotcha.
then we're taking from some of those others
Okay.
and moving there. And some of the older funds don't have a stated purpose or stated, or the people who donated the money aren't even around anymore to ask. So we will move the money into active scholarship funds sometimes. And
Gotcha.
I think that's what's happening in this case, but
Yeah,
I'll follow up with you.
Yeah, because all the other ones, like Title I, and that right to the top, I know what that is, so, okay.
Any other questions? Okay, Mr. Gaynor?
Mr. Silverman,
Yes.
Mr. Zucker,
Yes.
Ms. Pepler.
Yes. And now we're at the board president's report. And since Ron's not here, I guess the one thing I would like to say is that I was glad to see we had a nice turnout at the event last week around the facilities project. And we played with Legos and looked at ways that we might be, and ideas that the community would come up with to try to fit a lot of programming onto a very small space. So that was difficult, but I think there was a huge range of ideas and some nice input from the community, so I was pleased. Does anybody have anything they want to
I have something,
add later?
I have
Okay.
something under item
Committee
K.
reports?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right.
Just one thing, one of the people from the community who was there actually had come up sort of challenging, saying, are these decisions already completely made? I mean,
Yeah.
I just feel like it's all completely made. And I was standing with Gary Baylog, who's the lead architect on the project, and Gary did a very nice job saying, really it's almost the opposite. People feel like we should have more decisions made, but this is part of the process, and we have to get this input in order to start the project. So I think he did a really nice job of answering it, and I think the person who he was speaking to thought that as well. She actually made a point of saying, I feel much clearer about this now. So I think it's important for people to realize, I know sometimes people get down this path of thinking that decisions have been made, and one of the points of these community meetings is to be able to hear the input from the community, and in fact, the main point of the meeting. So I think the hearing from the lead architect, I think, was a very powerful statement. So.
Okay, do we have any unfinished business? New business? Okay, board committee reports.
The only thing I've got, only one of my, I think I'm at 3 different committees or 4. The only committee I had that had anything going on since our last meeting was the Alumni Foundation had a board meeting. The big item for them is the pancake breakfast coming up on April 13th, 9 a.m. to 12:30. $6 for adults, $5 for seniors and kids, all you can eat pancakes, tours of the building, raffle. We also, this year we have there's a barbershop quartet of recent alumni who will be performing at 10, 11 o'clock.
That's fun.
And then we're gonna have a big full complement of merchandise as well. So if people wanna, instead of paying for shipping and handling, they can come in or they can pay for shipping and instead have all you can eat pancakes. So April 13th, and I know Cal is probably gonna wanna sell tickets, but if anyone here this evening wants to buy tickets, I have them as well. So that's the only thing I have on my committee assignments.
Okay.
I have a couple. One, just real quickly, I think many people know because spring has been reluctant to be here, although today you can prove that. The Reaching Heights annual spelling bee was postponed from its original date to tomorrow night, and is actually at Wiley, though. It is not at the high school. Probably won't make it on air in time, but anyone here would like to tell all your friends. It's at 7 o'clock at Wiley. The board team is now been replaced by students who are acting out the members of the board. I'm sort
Which
of scared to see
frightens
what happens.
me. I don't know what they're doing to
We have-
portray us.
We have another meeting tomorrow, so that's
Yeah.
a conflict because they changed the date. So I've given them pointers on what. Never mind, I have really not done that. But not.
Students from MSAM.
Right, students from MSAN, exactly. So that's one thing. The other, it's not one of my committees that is listed, but I am the liaison or the member, I guess the school board member of the University Heights Technology Advisory Commission. We had our first meeting on March 26th. Pretty high-powered group. I'm feeling pretty bad. It's a really good group of people who, from a variety of walks of life, who really seem to know a lot about technology. It is part of their. I always think this sounds redundant, but it's part of their codified code. Chapter 284, that they would form this committee, and some of the duties and what we talked about in our first meeting were expanding the council newsletter, the e-newsletter. And just to be clear, and I didn't know this till the other day, the mayor of University Heights puts out a newsletter, but the council puts out a separate newsletter. So this is expanding the e-newsletter from council. It's also looking at updating the city's website and detailing the council page. This is a committee of council. It's actually let me see if I remembered. Yes, it's an advisory commission to the Civic Information Committee, which is a city council committee. So, but also they talked about how to best have Wi-Fi in council chambers. It turns out that's already there, but it's password protected, so they're trying to see if they can expand that. They talked about video recording of council meetings and potential for streaming on the web. That may be further down the road, but and then finally, how would they bring video projection equipment into council? So. Basically, we were just sort of getting organized for the first meeting. What I did also find out I didn't know is it's a 2-year term, so so I got 2 years on that one. But anyway, the commission is allowed to adopt its own bylaws, but they must be approved by council. So just to give you a first run of that.
Okay. Any correspondence and announcements?
That's right.
This is going to be funny. 'Cause he's-
Yeah. Well, we may give him a chance.
Can I
yeah.
have a motion?
No. Let him make the motion, please.
A motion to,
Adjourn.
really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's do it.
I think that this is once before in my 6+ years on this board, we've had a meeting that lasted only about 35 minutes, but I think this will be the record, so.
Well, it's out of season. You can have them this short, but usually it's in July, late July, early August.
Well,
It's never in.
I say it's nice that since we have 8 meetings in the month of April, that this one is only a half an
that's
hour
right.
long. My family will appreciate it. So can I have a motion to adjourn?
Ron, you want to do this?
So move.
Second.
Mr. Gaynor?
Ms. Bepler?
Yes.
Mr. Register?